Hello, it's Bill Bowers again. Welcome to this unit on the role of the Chief Operating Officer. In this unit, we will investigate the key priorities and challenges faced by COOs today. To help us achieve that, we have invited Mark Ferrer, SAP's GCO, Global Customer Operations Chief Operating Officer, to answer a few questions about his role and his day-to-day challenges. So Mark, first of all, welcome, and it's very good to see you again. Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your role as Chief Operating Officer for SAP's GCO organization?
Let's just kind of start with what my role is. So if you take a look at GCO today, we have about 12,000 employees across the globe that are represented by 34 market units and 6 regions, actually 7 regions now. And it's really defining the go-to-market for our business, as well as the sales operations to support that business, that represent our products and solutions to our client base, and really moving us from what was predominantly an ERP sales engine as little as 5 years ago, now to a very multifaceted digital transformation sales force, which is much more of a front office sales force. Our buyers have changed, so the line of business buyer has become very powerful in most of these companies, and our go-to-market has changed, where we have a strong set of specialist skills across the various product lines that we carry that represent those products as long as the client representative in front of the client, and how to bring all of those together in the most efficient and effective way that maximizes SAP's value into the client and the client's value from SAP.
So Mark, the next question is a bit more specific, and what I'd like to understand is, can you explain the key performance indicators and how your organization is measured? And the reason I'm asking that question is we want salespeople to understand how executives such as yourselves are measured, how their business is measured, because it makes it more relevant when they're having conversations and trying to find solutions that we can do, that we can deliver as SAP to satisfy and help those challenges for that particular line of business.
Well, first of all, the financial metrics are pretty simple. Revenue and profit. It's as simple as that, but really it's much more complex as you look underneath it. Really, where are we with retention? Where are we with succession planning? Where are we with our development plan? Because let's face it, we are in the people business. So we spend a lot of time on the people. We spend a lot of time around our sales productivity. We spend a lot of time on how we educate our sales force. We spend a lot of time on really looking at the skill sets that we have in our sales force and whether we have the right mixes in each of the geographies and down to each of the market units as we go to market.
So businesses are changing a lot today, and at SAP, of course, we're changing a lot as well. What does the impact of a change in business model or change in strategy have, and how does it really impact your role? And how do you actually respond to those major shifts and changes of business model or strategy?
Well, we've changed a lot. So I joined the company in 2011. In that period of time, we've tripled our addressable market. So now if you take a look at adding success factors in HR, adding Ariba, adding Fieldglass, adding Concur, adding Hybris, these are significant acquisitions that now have us in conversations with customers at very different buy points than we've traditionally had with our client base. So if you look at our strategy, I would call it more of an evolution of the strategy versus a change in the strategy. The biggest impact really is around the cloud and how fast our clients are adopting the cloud, what the economic impact of that is to our business, because it runs at a very different structure. It is short time to value. It is highly innovative. It is moving the economics for our clients in many cases from a capital expenditure to an operating expense. It is much more elastic for our clients. And now they want that same buying behavior in their on-prem acquisitions of software. We still have a very large software business. As Bill talked about in our last earnings call, our growth in the cloud has exceeded the market growth rates, and we have a very substantial cloud business. So all of these things coming together as our customers change and we evolve our strategy, bringing those together to make sure that we are representing our products in front of the customer in the best way possible. Now, underlying all of that is what are the metrics? How do we run the business? Bringing our sales operations in the best face of SAP to the client. And so we've created a operating model called sales franchise. And this is really where each market unit can use the franchise, and the sales operations team around the globe help to define an operating model for each of the market units that takes into the cultural nuance of each of those market units, but puts it in a predictable framework that allows them to run a business without defining 34 separate businesses. Because when you now will bring in a concur, and you add that into the organization, you can't integrate that 34 different ways. You have to do it one way. So as we will take our innovations to market, like S4HANA and S4 Logistics, which is coming out pretty soon, how do you bring those to 34 market units so that we are representing them in front of our customers in the most effective and efficient fashion to drive top line growth and bottom line efficiency?
So, Mark, from a strategic imperative for companies, innovation is top on the list. It's basically a must-have for businesses today. How does innovation and the importance of innovation affect your role, and how do you respond to that, the need for innovation and continual innovation at SAP?
Well, I think there's two sides of it. Innovation using internal. What we've done with C4C, the sales tools like Sales Central, which is really providing tools for our sales force to most effectively get to demonstration capability, to share best practice, to understand how to interact with their customer with more information than they've ever had. How do we manage our portfolio of our clients with our internal capability and the response, things like quote to cash, the responsibility of making decisions very rapidly and leveraging all the technology that we sell to our customers internally so that we can use it for our own teams. With that said, leveraging all those tools to manage the business on a day-to-day. And look, I work for Rob Enslin, that probably is the biggest user of all the tools that we have out there. So what that says is, not only does he run the business that way, but he's also probably our primary tester for our products. So he's like our quality control of the tools that we release internally and all the innovation that we're doing on that. And that's leveraging both Jermaine's team as well as Jermaine Schumann, who is our BIO and really runs all of our IT globally for GCO. The other side of innovation is how do we make sure that we are representing that innovation and the value of it and how you drive that value in a short period of time with our clients, from the top of the pyramid to our biggest clients all the way to the bottom of the pyramid with products like SAP Anywhere, where we're really trying to populate as many new clients as possible with the SAP portfolio and expand that client base.
So, Mark, beyond the innovation topic, changing strategies and new business models, what are the other challenges that you find on a daily basis in your role?
Well, clearly getting the depth in the organization and our people so that we have the right education pieces in place. We have challenger training for our sales professional. We have Sales Leadership Academy for first-line sales managers. We have Sales Grad Academy, which brings in a fresh new set of resources that are going to change the face of SAP over the next few years as they come into the organization with a new perspective on the approach of leveraging innovation and how we how we take that to our clients. With that said, clearly people is a major priority for me. The other side of it is how do we lift and shift within the business? Because the business over the course of the 4 years since I've been here has evolved dramatically. And we have to move where things are not growing as quickly, like on-premise software, to things that are growing very quickly, like our cloud products, or for instance, Hybris. So where our customers are buying, are telling us with their buying power that these things are important factors for them. And then also taking in things like S/4HANA, which is a very rapidly growing solution set for us, as our customers start to digitize the core and really allow them to take on a lot of the new innovations from end to end. So if you take a look at the priorities, it's that shift of talent and skill set, giving our people the right education and support so that they can be successful, our customers can be successful, our business overall can be successful, and building out the depth in the organization, and making sure that we have the best sales force on the planet. And I will tell you right now, Bill, we not only have the best sales force on the planet, we've got the best sales leadership on the planet, and our clients tell us that with their buying power.
So Mark, in your role, I'm sure you meet with a lot of vendors externally that are trying to sell software and innovations to SAP. When you meet with such a sales professional, what are you really looking for, and what motivates you to spend more time with that individual and that salesperson?
I'm always looking at ways that we can do something better than we do it today. So I'm very critical of our own organization, the speed at which we operate. We have a very high clock speed in SAP. And if there is a way in an area like pricing, for instance, where we brought in McKinsey to help us with changing our pricing model, they brought an outside-in view of how we may want to represent our prices to our client base. That, to me, brings value, allows us to speed up how we can change how we do business. And it allows us to be best in class when we combine that with what we do as our business. So any of the outside vendors, whether it's software tools like leveraging OpenText to consulting from people like McKinsey, that can give me an outside view that speeds the ability for us to change, to do all the things I talked about before, do the lift and shift, change the skill set of how we communicate with our clients, be much more effective and efficient in that communication with our clients. I'm always looking for that edge. And so if you can bring that value proposition to me, it has a return on investment that I can clearly see, in that it has a short time to value where I can put our people on it with their people, and I can realize that value in a short period of time. We live in a quarterly world. I can't take things that are going to take me a year to 18 months to go implement. We need to do things in a very short fashion, quick wins, where we see the value and the return on investment.
So a related question, what recommendations would you have to our sales professionals as they prepare to meet with other chief operating officers?
Let's take it in a broader context. I would say, as we interact with any C-level executive, in the C-suite, particularly at the CIO level, CEO level today, is the digital transformation of their business. And whether it's their interaction with customers, their interaction with suppliers and the efficiency of that, whether it's the interaction with their people, because let's face it, most of our businesses today are about people. And then how do they leverage the data, whether it's for things like IoT or it's for big data analysis so that they can make quicker business decisions. So in talking to those C-level executives, depending upon what function that they represent within the customer base, it's absolutely critical that you help them recognize the value that you can return and how quickly they can get to that value, and why you're different and more thorough than any of the other offerings in the marketplace, but yet at the same time very nimble in how we implement and allow them to realize that value and the return that they get from that value.
So as we close up for today, Mark, is there anything else, any other points or perspectives that you would like to share with our sales force on really how to have a credible conversation when they're meeting with the Chief Operating Officer?
No, I think in all, our business right now couldn't be in a better spot than it is today. Our portfolio is extremely robust, not only because of the innovation that we've acquired, but also the innovation that we built from within. And so it puts us in a position right now where it's about execution. It's about executing with speed. It's about representing SAP across a different spectrum of buyers, not just in the CIO, and making sure that we leverage all the skills of SAP. So we are about 50-50. So specialists, which are either selling line of business solutions or selling platform solutions, and what we call industry AEs, and those people generally sell the entire represent the entire portfolio to the customer. So how do you bring those two together so that you get leverage out of the line of business expertise that we have, as well as the industry within which that works? So making that work as an account executive and leveraging those skill sets across SAP, and our value engineering, our VAT teams. So value engineering, pre-sales, business consulting, all of those pieces, and bringing that together to help our clients understand the value that they're going to bring back. I was with a customer that I can't name in Brazil. It was the CFO of the customer at the customer. They are one of the largest entities in Brazil, have bought a lot of our solutions. We brought a point of view to them in a document that represented that value and how quickly they realized the value. And literally the CFO said yes in probably less than a 15-minute conversation. He had 2 or 3 questions that he wanted to ask. Now, obviously, a lot of work went on with his team before we got to the CFO, but he opened up the point of view. He went right to the value statement. So making sure that we represent, if you look at the 3 segments, how build value demand, sales execution, and then value realization. So those are the 3 pieces, and leveraging that SAP, our SAP skill set across those 3 pillars. So value generation, sales execution, value realization. Going back to our clients and making sure that they recognize the value that they've received and how they got to that value and how quickly they realized that value. So I want to thank you very much for allowing me to spend this time with our sales organization. And I look forward to maybe future interviews and talking about how we continue to evolve as a sales organization.
Well, that's great. So, Mark, I'd like to really thank you for meeting with us today and sharing your valuable time. It's been insightful, and I'm sure our sales professionals have learned a lot from this discussion. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
And before closing this unit, let me remind you that if you want to learn more about the role of the COO, please check out the resources linked directly under this video. This concludes our interview with Mark Ferrer. Please join the next unit where we will find out more from a former customer COO. I will see you there, and as always, happy selling.